Evening once again. Welcome to round 2 of our GT3 Championship. Firstly, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there in the UK as we celebrate that day today. We have just started qualifying, so there's going to be 15 minutes of qualifying, and if the game behaves itself, I was just about to comment that we have some new graphics today and some more information for you. So if you check out the timing tower in the top left of your screen, you will see all of the names, and you'll have energy, you'll have the gaps, the intervals, the tyres, the positions gained and lost, and also the number of stops that have been made. So we hopefully will have a little bit more information tonight on exactly what's going on as far as strategy is concerned. We're currently just looking at Kyle Wright, who appears to be really trying to warm those tyres, so obviously tyre warm-up here, a crucial role. Let's check out how much fuel they have on board for these runs. So we can see that Kyle's actually on 98% fuel, so perhaps finding the higher fuel loads working better on the cars, or perhaps a data glitch. We will have to find out throughout the evening, but I have noticed that on this game a lot of the cars are showing as 100% in qualifying, so whether that's a little glitch or whether that's a strategic maneuver, we will have to find out. Let me know in the chat if you're with us, let me know if you can hear me okay, and that the volumes and audio levels are all okay. We also have replay facility now, so if you do find your favourite driver has dropped down the pack and you want to find out what has happened to them, we should be able to do that quite easily. All incidents are logged on our side, and we can quickly navigate back to that part of the replay and see what has caused them to come unstuck. For now, I think we'll have a look at the gap to the leader on the board. So once these lap times start coming in, you'll be able to see how close they are to the fastest guy on track. Kyle Wright is currently on his first push lap, but I don't expect to see any fast times in the first 2 laps certainly, but third lap of a push lap we should start to see the tyres coming up to temperature and some quick laps going in. A quick lap around this Bahrain International Circuit is around the 2-minute mark. We didn't see anybody dip under that 2-minute mark in practice, but in qualifying, when it counts, we will have to see. You'll also notice the qualifying graphic in the bottom right-hand corner. That will show you the sectors, and when the times are set, that will give you a plus or minus delta to the fastest time, and also the very familiar colours of green being personal fastest sector, and purple, as Kyle quite nicely demonstrates there, purple is fastest sector of the session for all cars, and then orange is not so fast. And you see the graphic at the top of the screen, fastest lap Tom Lyons. So as the guys put in the fastest laps, you will get a graphic on the screen so you can see just exactly who's on the move. You'll also notice on the timing tower on the left hand side, you'll get the lap time each time the cars cross the line, which is very handy. As they all cross the line, you can see who's turning some good laps. So a lot more information now, and hopefully will make it a lot more enjoyable to watch from the sofa. Currently Franco Sestari on pole position on a 2:02.8, so he'll be looking to knock at least a couple of seconds off that time. But for now, he seems to be the man that's getting those tyres up to temperature that little bit quicker. Time at the top of the screen in the centre, that is in-game time, so that is 5:10 in-game. It will be a nighttime race and qualifying, as you can see. We have plenty of floodlights around the Bahrain circuit, so we should have no issues identifying cars as Franco Sestari gets very close to track limits there. You will see if cars get drive-throughs or penalties. They will also appear on the screen. So my job should be a lot easier today. And even if I don't manage to do my job, the information should be somewhere on screen for you to get at. So Tom Lyons putting in the fastest lap so far, 2:02.5. That isn't correct, is it? So have we stumbled across an issue with our graphics straight away? Because that was saying Tom Lyons, which he's absolutely not on pole. Franco Sestari is on pole. So we may have stumbled across a bug straight away, but that seems to work. Kyle Wright, 2:05, which absolutely is the fastest lap so far. Kyle just completing that lap. So we'll have to keep an eye on these overlays and just check they're not fibbing to us. As you can see, Mike Sutty in the overlays. His name is yellow, same as Harrison Fulton. If we look at those, that means they are off the track or they've had a spin. You can also see on the track map on the left-hand side, the green dots will turn yellow if that car has caused a yellow flag. 18 cars tonight, a good showing. Hopefully we'll have a few more finishes than last week. We had a few retirements quite early on in Interlagos. I know a lot of the guys will be hoping to keep these things on the straight and narrow for a little bit longer. As we watch Mike Sutty, I know Andrew Wellborn, as Rob Thompson has had an incident there. As I was about to talk about the Mustang very tricky mid-corner, quite easily snap away from you. We had Andrew Wellborn last week struggling to tame this car, and there's a few more in the Mustang this evening, at least 2 that you can see on the leaderboard currently in the server. So let's see how they get on today. So Andy Moore moving up into second position on a 2:07. That's a good lap from him. Franco Sestari down to third position. The top 4 covered by half a second so far, with 6 minutes remaining of qualifying. So this is Callum Amkrutz. Just put in a very good first sector, but immediately outdone by Franco Sestari, who's put in the quickest first sector by 2/10. So this could be a good lap time. He's currently on a 2:09 lap. And he'll be looking to beat that 2:05 from Kyle Wright, currently sitting at the top of the leaderboard. Kyle Wright just jumping back to the pit lane, so obviously finding short, quick runs, low fuel potentially, although it does say it is on high fuel, but the tyres not lasting particularly long, so he's finding getting the tyres up to temperature on the first couple of laps and then pushing for just 1 or 2 laps seems to be working for Kyle. See Franco Sestari 0.4 up as he goes down this long straight into the last turn of the lap, so he'll round this turn You can see the green dot highlighted, and there's a yellow flag somewhere. That's gone away quickly. So he'll round the last corner down the straight. Currently 6/10 up. Where will this put him versus Kyle? I think this is going to comfortably put him on pole at 2:02:05. And Tom Lyons has caused a yellow flag, so Tom Lyons having issues. Oh, he's just pulled over at the line. So Franco Sestari takes pole position so far on a 2:02. And I don't think it was much quicker than that in practice. So a very good lap from Franco. Sam Wooldridge looking good in third position, just 4.5 tenths down on that pole position time. Coming round to start. Sorry, he's midway through a push lap here, so he's just finished sector 1, only 0.16 down on the pole position, so not a bad lap from Sam so far. Sam usually in the chat keeping us company, but this today managing to find time to jump on the rig. Oh, and as I say that, he loses the rear. The pressure of being under focus. He's dropped the rear. He was on a good run in third position, but with only 3 minutes to go, he will struggle to get the tyres up to temperature and improve on that. Kyle Wright looks like he's having quite a slow lap this time around. I wonder if this is just a semi-push lap to try and get the heat into the tyre. So a 2:01.1, so he needs to find at least a second or around a second if he wants to take pole on this these next couple of laps. Andy Moore down to 4th then, Callum in 5th, Tom Lyons 6th, Aaron Sterrett in 7th position, still circulating, so he'll be looking to improve on that 7th position. Albert Seragili in 8th, he was going strong in practice, one of the top 4 runners. Troy Fry in 9th position, a little bit further down, quite close for that mid-pack from 6th down. Barry Mnemonic currently sitting in 10th position. He tried the one-stop strategy last week. Sorry, it wasn't a one-stop, it was a zero-stop strategy. Sam's fan club in the chat joined in just to see him loop it on the exit. Mike Sutty 12th. He'll be looking to improve on that because he was much quicker in the practice sessions. Sorry, he's in 6th position, so I'm not sure why that said. I was focusing on the wrong car there. Mike Sutty up to 6th position. So I think he just crossed the line there to improve on that position. Harrison Fulton down in 13th currently, only 1:45 to go. Andy Bonnar in 14th in the Porsche. Rob Thompson trying to tame the Mustang, currently in the pit, so he won't be improving. Craig Fulton in the Porsche, currently a little way off the pace, not looking like he's putting a good lap. Tony Matthews in the pits, trying to come out for one final effort, but he'll struggle with that time left. And then Igor Jurjevic not able to post a time thus far. Franco Sestari still on pole position on that 2:02, but he is in the pit lane. Let's have a look at Kyle. So Kyle comes round to cross the line. He's got some faster second sectors, but he doesn't take pole position, only 0.139 off Franco, so very, very close for the top step, or the pole position should we say. And then a little gap down to Sam Wooldridge, who's in 3rd position still. He is in the pits, but he'll be sitting tight hoping to not lose that position. Who have we got circulating? We've got Callum and Albert Seragili. Albert Seragili looks like he's on a decent lap here, currently sitting 6th position. I'm not sure if that was an off track. Sam finding the time to juggle his racing and be in the chat. We will get the chat up on screen once qualifying is over, just so we don't have a clash of overlays. But yeah, we've covered the overlays a little bit when I started the stream, but we will go into the extra details in a little bit. Troy Fry going over the line on a 2:01.0. Kyle still circulating. Looks like he's done a personal best in the first sector. Let's just switch back to Albert Seragili. Where does that put him? 4th position, so a good showing from Albert Serigili. A good middle sector from Kyle. He goes purple. He nearly loses the rear of the car though. So this down, that will have cost him time onto this long straight. Both straights very similar in length here, but will he be able to hang on to that lap time? It's going to be very, very close. Only himself, Andy Moore and Troy Fry still circulating. So can Kyle Wright improve on his P2? Comes across a line and just misses out by 0.034 of a second. So without that little snap of oversteer, he'd have been in with a shout there. Let's have a look. Andy Moore just coming around. He's a little way off. What about Troy Fry? He's even further back, so let's go on with Andy Moore. Middle sector not great, but it could improve him from 5th position. So we'll round the final turn. Seems to get a decent run out of there, and then looks, yeah, he's pitting, so not happy with that lap. And that is everybody finished so far. So you can see a quick rundown on the screen now of the qualifying positions. A good run from Franco, followed by Kyle, Sam, Albert, Andy Moore, Callum, Troy, Mike, Tom Lyons and Barry Mnemonic. And then Aaron Sterrett, Loz Archer, which we can confirm is a male, Harrison Fulton, Bonar, Thompson, Fulton, Matthews and Igor Jurovic bringing up the rear. So you will see the start grid just flick through your screen at the bottom. And in just under a minute, we should be set to go racing. As I remove the qualifying results, you'll have to give me a few weeks to get used to it. Clearly we can't view the qualifying results, but we've done that already. So let's just focus in on the start of this race. It is an hour race tonight. It looks like it's being held at 2 o'clock in the morning. So not a very sociable hour at all. You can see the weather is clear and the grip is evolving. So pretty normal conditions other than being the night time. Quite warm for an evening, I dare say, as well, but it is Bahrain. So a 60-minute race. I have heard that it is possible to do the race with fuel saving and not make a stop. But we don't really want that because saving fuel has started. Never that interesting, if I'm honest. Okay, as the cars roll down this long back straight, I think we'll focus in on Sam Wooldridge. He's right in amongst the thick of it. Bit of a gap back to the other runners, so hopefully they can all catch up in time. And we will change our overlays. So everybody starting on the medium tyre. So here we go though, Franco on the right hand side in the white and red Lexus, and then Kyle Wright in the silver and red Ferrari.
Green flag, green flag.
As they all get away then, let's see if we can get a better camera angle. So poor start for Sam Wooldridge. Albert Serigili's up on the outside of Kyle Wright. Franco Sestari's gone to the inside to defend. Who's going to lead into the turn one? Kyle Wright gets into turn one in the lead. Albert Serigili in second position, so that's a great start from Albert Serigili. And then a little bit further back, looks like we've had No issues, no yellow flags that I can see. That's Callum flashing the lights of the Mercedes. So Albert Seragili and Franco Sestari side by side. That's Mike Sutty going up the inside. Is it? Who's that? Or is it Troy Fry? Trying to see who's in the... Oh, that's Andy Moore in the BMW. Oh, and then that's Sam hitting the back, I think, of Andy Moore, and then Callum involved as well. We will go back and have a look at a replay in 1 second once it's calmed down. But for now, let's get back to the front and check out what's going on. So Kyle Wright has escaped at the front. Very good lap one for Kyle. He'll be very happy with that. But Albert Seragili making 2 places from 4th position. Really good, strong start for Albert. See all of their fuel, maximum fuel on board. Looks like it's getting tasty in the mid-pack. That looks like Barry Mnemonic going past Troy Fry, and he's got Loz Archer for company. This is all heating up, and the rear's gone of that Mercedes. Had to get out of it, and I think that was Loz had to get out as well. So good stuff at the start here. There's going to be 3 wide behind them as well. This is Aaron Sterrett, Loz Archer and Barry all going at it. They file into 2 into this final turn, and that is sorry, that's not Loz Archer, that's Aaron Sterrett in the Saar Mercedes, and then Loz Archer in the Aston Martin, followed by Barry Mnemonic. Kyle Wright with the fastest first lap, unsurprisingly with that lead. Looks like it's getting 3 wide, 2 Porsches and a Mustang into turn 1. Hard on the brakes from all 3 of them. Craig a little bit wide, and that allows Mike Sutty through in the Mustang. So good racing up and down the pack here. Kyle Wright still leading at the front. The gap 1.5 seconds currently. So let's turn the amount of stops off for now, because we know nobody's made a stop just yet. We'll try and keep the crucial information on the screen. So good start there from Harrison Fulton, up 6 places. So really good start from Harrison. Let's have a quick look at that replay. Is it Loz Archer? No, that was at turn 1. So this was turn 1. Bit of contact here. Bit of door-to-door in contact with the track furniture. And a bit of off-track action there, but nothing too bad. Right, let's switch back to the live view and see what's going on, because it is kicking off, and that is... Who's that off at the rear? This is Callum and Craig Fulton side by side. So Callum's had a bit of a disaster, down into 14th position now. So he has really dropped like a stone after a fairly reasonable qualifying. Albert Seragili continues to hold that 2nd place. We'll try and take stock here. Sam Wooldridge after that earlier contact. I'm just trying to find the replay of Sam Wooldridge. And I think it was Barry Mnemonic. Nothing appearing on the incidents though. Okay then, 5 minutes in. Two and a half or 3 seconds the lead at the front between Kyle and Albert Seragili, and then Franco Sestari. The gap that we're looking at currently on the screen, only 0.8 of a second. Then Sam Wooldridge a further 2.9 seconds back, so Sam will be hoping to get on this amongst this battle for the final podium position. Then Tom Lyons going strong in 5th position in the electric blue Porsche. He's followed by Troy Fry, a further 3 seconds behind. And then Harrison Fulton behind him in the Mercedes, with Aaron Sterrett, Loz Archer and Igor Jurovic a little bit further behind. Igor Jurovic off to a good start, starting from the back of the grid, so managing to get up into 10th position in the BMW. So a good start from Igor Jurovic. Kyle rounds the final turn then. This the battle between Tom Lyons and Sam Wooldridge. Tom Lyons is catching. So let's have a look at Sam Wooldridge. You can see the gap down at the bottom as Tom tries to close in on the back of this Lexus. Looks like it had good early pace, but the Porsche coming on strong. Tom Lyons' best lap, 0.4 of a second quicker than Sam at the moment, so the last lap around he did make up 0.4, and you can see the gap visibly closing down. Keeping an eye on those gaps down the leaderboards then. Mike Sutty and Barry Mnemonic. Change of position then. Oh, big change. So Mike Sutty on the inside, Barry on the outside, and that's Callum trying to recover from that earlier mistake that dropped him right down the order. Mike Sutty on the outside of this tricky braking zone. Left kink downhill off camber, easy to lock that inside wheel, and that is Igor Jurovic, who's gone wide, so that's allowed all of this train to stick to the rear bumper. So Mike Sutty looking to make a move on Igor Jurovic, turns in quite early there, maybe a defensive line, and that's going to allow Mike Sutty, that's Callum going past Barry Mnemonic, slightly further behind these two. So Callum is through on Barry, and this train of 6 cars behind Igor Jurovic. So Igor Jurovic in the BMW at the front of this train as Kyle Wright puts in another fastest lap. Igor doing well to hold these off. Sam Wooldridge and Tom Lyons still lapping very close. Sam Wooldridge 0.3 quicker on that lap. You can see in the tower on the left hand side the white times, that is the times as they cross the line. So as these lot cross the line, you'll see all of their times pop up and see who's pumping in those quick laps. For some reason we don't have a lap time for Callum, but I can assure you maybe it's maybe that lap was invalid. Oh, and Callum's gone up the back of Mike Sutty, so that's going to be damage for both cars potentially. That's allowed Barry Mnemonic to get right into the back of Callum. Callum on the flashers. Maybe not happy about some of the braking, but fortunately you can't do much. Oh, and Barry goes to defend there from Andy Moore. So Andy Moore and Rob Thompson getting involved here. So Andy Moore at the back of this pack. So this pack really building up behind Igor Jurovic. Have a quick look at that replay into turn 1. Let's have a look. Yeah, so Callum just looked like he totally outbraked himself because he was going much quicker than the 2 cars in front of him. And then we see Barry getting really, really close. So we switch back to the live view. So Igor and Mike Sutty have left this pack a little bit. So they've managed to get a bit of a gap. Keep my eye on the front. So gaps seem fairly stable for the top 7 cars, decent gaps between them, nobody under a second, but then Aaron Sterrett in 8th position, looks like he's the closest, and he's right up behind Harrison Fulton for that 7th and 8th position. Kyle Wright with another fastest lap, a 2:06, which is knocking on the door of qualifying pace. So Kyle really got the bit between his teeth, 3.5 seconds ahead. Has there been a mistake by Albert, because that gap's coming down to Franco Sestari. Whether that was just a bit of a concertina effect, I'm not sure, but he looks like he's got a reasonable gap still. Let's go back to this battle between Igor and Mike Suttie. See the last lap, Igor 0.2 of a second quicker. But you don't need to look at lap times when they're this close. But this train now all the way back to Andy Bonar, I think, or maybe just Andy Moore actually. So he's bringing up the rear of this little pack, all having a cracking scrap between the 6 of them. So this again is Mike Suttie trying to get that position from Igor as we ride on board with Mike, looking for a way past. Igor didn't put a lap time in during practice or qualifying as far as I know. He's got a much tighter line here though. Igor taking a much wider line, trying to carry the speed. You hear the tyres squealing and then this tricky braking. Igor thinks about going defensive. He's gone wide, and this is going to allow Mike Suttie up the inside to a drag all the way down this long straight. So this could be his chance to get that move done, and Callum's right behind him as well. He'll be looking to pick up the pieces if Igor makes a mess of this. So he's alongside. Igor thinks the better of it and allows Mike through on the inside, but he's got a bad run, and then Callum's coming through on the inside. Mike Suttie instantly goes defensive, but I think he'll be okay because the other cars have not carried great speed unless he's carrying a lot of wing, and he's conscious of that. But that's Barry Mnemonic on the inside as well. Barry Mnemonic going to the inside to try and get past Callum. Callum trying to get past Igor. Igor turns in. Callum's on the inside. They do well to avoid contact, and Barry Mnemonic damage on the front of that Mercedes, maybe from this incident or earlier on. I think maybe earlier on. But Mike Suttie through on Igor, and now that has invited more pressure on Igor from Callum this time. So hopefully Mike will be able to escape this little battle if he can put in his quick lap times, or a bit of a twitch from the Mercedes from Callum there. We know Callum is capable of some quick lap times in open air, but can he do it when he's following other cars? It's one thing to put in those quick lap times, but it's another thing altogether to race cleanly and fast around other cars. Barry Mnemonic looks like he's got good pace here in the Mercedes, the orange and blue Mercedes, so he's looking to get past both of these cars. There's a yellow flag, that's Craig Fulton. He's had an incident. So Craig at the back of the field, and it's a DNF for Tony Matthews. I had missed that. So Tony Matthews on the previous lap has DNF'd, unfortunately. Gaps at the front still looking very, very stable. So Aaron Sterrett and Harrison Fulton still battling away, and they've got Loz Archer for company as well. So this a good little three-way scrap, and you can see in the background that battle where Mike Suttie seems to have escaped for now. He'll be eager not to make any mistakes and get caught up in that again and hold on to that 10th position. But these three, so this is a battle for 7th, 8th and 9th position, 2 Mercedes and an Aston Martin. So they go down into turn 1. You're looking at the Mercedes of Aaron Sterrett, the black, purple, orange, blue and white, and that looks like it's a change of position behind them. So Loz Archer trying to get past Harrison Fulton. He is on the inside. He's definitely a bloke. He's got testicles. We have had that confirmed. So he goes down the inside. Can Harrison do anything about it? He tries to go round the outside, but I'm not sure that's a wise choice round there, because you will get the nose chopped off on the exit. And Loz Archer makes a position into 8th position, and there's been a change of position between Andy Moore. So Andy Moore actually getting past, Callum Looks like... Yeah, I missed that. So there's been an incident with Rob Thompson. So he's lost it in the fast sector. I couldn't see what was going on. The positions were changing. So Rob Thompson loses the rear of that Mustang. As we spoke about, such a hard car to master. So he's down in 16th position now. So Harrison Fulton dropping away from this battle. Aaron Sterrett has got past him and absolutely left them for dead. Loz Archer will be trying to stick on the back of Aaron with only 43 minutes to go. I was going to say only 43 minutes to go, but we still have 43 minutes to go in this race. So as things all settle down, let's have a look then. Have a look at the gaps to the leader as well. Quite a big field spread. Kyle Wright at the moment just pumping in those laps, and you can see that the gaps between the other guys. Aaron Sterrett absolutely on fire, a 2:01.9 compared to the cars around him. So Aaron Sterrett, as we look at him, really putting in some good laps, a good pace at this stage of the race. Let's have a quick look at the energy. Oh, and there's a yellow flag. Craig Fulton, he's had another incident. Looks like he's had a very similar incident to the one he's had previously, because that was exactly the same position. So energy then. Oh, and he's gone wide there as Craig. So Craig's off the track once again. All looking pretty similar on energy, as that is Tony Matthews. So a battle at the back of the field then. These two be able to keep themselves occupied here. But doesn't look like anyone's fuel saving to try and do a one stop. At the highest I can see is 66%, other than Craig Fulton, who appears to have stopped already. We can confirm that. Yeah, Craig Fulton has stopped already. And Kyle Wright then leads, started on second behind Franco Sestari, only very, very close for pole position, but managed to lead into turn one and has led ever since. Currently circulating on a 2:01.2, then Franco Albert 2:01.3. Sam Wooldridge a 2:09, so Sam Wooldridge on the move as well here. He's not far behind Franco Sestari, so after that spin earlier on, Sam Wooldridge has found good speed in the Lexus. Thought I may have cursed him then as he came out of turn two, as they passed the slowing Porsche of Craig Fulton. So Craig Fulton is a lap down and has made a stop, so he certainly won't need to make another stop in the rest of this race. Craig gets out of the way, nicely done, but it will be interesting to see if Sam can carry on improving on that pace. That last lap, you can see on the screen at the bottom, a 2:09 was actually his fastest lap of the race so far, so it'll be interesting to see if he can maintain that aggressive pace. And as we say that, Kyle Wright putting in the fastest sector one so far, so everyone seems to be on a bit of a move. Maybe the track conditions just coming to the guys and the fuel load coming down faster than the tyres wearing out. Looks like there's been an incident here. So this is Callum behind Andy Moore. Goes up the inside. Oh, and he's gone into the back of Igor Jurovic. Not for the first time this evening. Struggles under traction on the way out. Igor looked like he was flashing light. Oh, and Igor's had an issue. Igor's had an issue at that difficult left-hander. See if we can get a replay of that. So he comes down into the breaker zone. He's on the inside of Callum. Oh, and more contact, and he spins the rears. That was unfortunate, that one, because he was just taking a different line to Kyle, and eventually the two doors come back together, and there's a yellow flag for Mike Sutty. What's happened here? Has he looped that Mustang again? He has. so difficult, and those rear tyres are going to be absolutely roasting, and that car will handle like a pig for the next 2 laps. So he'll be looking at trying to cool those tyres down. He's down in, where is he now? Mike Sutty, 10th position, so he's managed to hang on a little bit, and he's got Callum for company now, but those rear tyres will be really hot. I think we can stick with this battle for a little while, because we were watching this battle between Callum and Andy Moore. So Andy Moore behind Callum, looking to the inside. Can Mike Sutty get the power down in this Mustang, or have those tyres overheated? Looks like he's recovered okay. Looks like he's managing to hold on to the rear of that car reasonably well, but a bit of a scare for Mike Sutty in the Mustang. That's Tom Lyons going a little bit wide in the background, just runs wide on the exit, possibly get a track violation. I think we do get quite generous track limits here tonight, and you're able to amass quite a few points before you get a penalty, so not too much of an issue, but still something to keep an eye on. That battle between Callum, Mike and Andy Moore. So this is Mike at the front, then Callum in the grey Mercedes, then Andy Moore in the BMW, followed by Andy Bonnar in the Porsche. So just coming to join the back of this field after a slow start. He's winding up and hoping to join in with this racing. 37.5 minutes to go. And Kyle still looking dominant. Oh, and we've had a change of position here. Oh, and that is a Mustang. Rob Thompson really struggling there. Let's have a look at this overtake. So this is Barry Mnemonic on Rob Thompson. Does Rob Thompson... Oh, Barry lost the car. So a mistake from Barry, and then a mistake from Rob Thompson. But Rob Thompson holds on to that position. So Barry losing the rear of the Mercedes and struggling with the damage on the front end of that car. The gap's 6 seconds out front currently. So Kyle leads Albert by 6 seconds, and then Franco Sestari still relatively close by, 3 seconds behind. And it looks like Sam Wooldridge is closing. He's within a second now. Can see on the 1v1 Sestari's last lap at 2:01.5 and Sam's a 2:01.362, so only 2/10 in it, but it's all counts, and certainly the trend seems to be going towards the yellow Lexus rather than the red, white and black one that we're focused in on. This, of course, the last step on the podium. Albert Seragili given quite a bit of breathing space in second position. Big gap in front and a big gap behind now. Franco coming under increasing pressure from Sam Wooldridge. Let's jump on board with Sam Wooldridge and see if there's any way past the other Lexus. Franco Sestari missing the apex there, so that will invite Sam. Just closes in by half a car length or so. You can see the gap delta at the bottom of the screen, down at 0.6.5 now. As he closes under braking, looks like Franco's struggling to get that car slowed down. Gets a good exit, and then we're going to go through this tricky left-hander, so over the the left kink and then braking, try and get the car in a straight line and get to that apex. Sam certainly got to the apex, maybe a little bit more than the apex there, and he actually loses time on the exit. A better run for Franco. Another close battle then, so we're looking at Andy Moore versus Callum. Andy Moore looking like the time coming to him all the time. Callum maybe struggling with that damage. We did see him go into the back of two cars at different points during tonight, and Craig Fulton off again by the looks of things on this current lap. So Craig Fulton not having a great time, maybe just moving out the way for other guys there. Certainly Andy Moore looking like he's closing in on the back of Callum. Really closing in on the brakes. A little twitch from the Mercedes on the exit, just dropped to the rear left into the curb, into the guttering there, and that cost him a little bit of time. You can see he's gaining on Callum all the time in the slipstream. Will Callum choose to defend? He chooses not to. He brakes quite deep though, so he might go wide. He has gone a little bit wide. That's allowed Andy Moore to get a better line through there, but he does lose a rear in the mid part of that turns 1 and 2. And he'll have it all to do once again. Igor Jurovic down in 16th now after that earlier incident, so he'll be looking to try and come back through. Craig Fulton a lap down, but he has made a pit stop already. He will turn on the stops, so you'll see as the tower cycles through, you'll see the interval, the amount of stops, the positions gained and lost, the energy, and that's it for now. They're the important ones. So you can see Craig Fulton, the only person to make a stop so far. Tom Lyons going well. He's currently made up the most positions. There has been other cars make more positions, but they have then paid the price later on. Currently Tom Lyons doing his own race, lapping in decent lap time, so 2:01.7 on the last time around, within 3/10 of his fastest lap. So nice and consistent driving from Tom. What can Sam do about Franco? I was about to say Franco Colapinto, but it's definitely not Franco Colapinto. Franco Sestari. He had a bit of a nightmare last week. Ended up DNFing, but had the pace all night. So we'll leave Sam to it, see if he can make some inroads into the back of that Lexus. This is the closest battle so far on track. These three battling for 11th, 12th and 13th. So that's actually 10th, 11th and 12th on the screen. So Callum in 11th currently. Halfway through. So we've just ticked over the 30-minute mark. Callum really pushing on the brakes there to get that thing stopped. Again coming under pressure from Andy Moore. Aaron Sterrett looks like he's on the move as well, so closing in on the back of Troy Fry. So Aaron Sterrett doing some good lap times. You can see there, best lap 2:01.5, and his last lap was a 2:01.6, so right within his quickest times. He was only marginally quicker than Troy Fry on that lap, but this looks like it's also shaping up to be a very close battle indeed. As they cross the line this time around, again Aaron Sterrett slightly quicker, just a tenth quicker on that lap. Sorry, Loz Archer a 2:02.4. So Loz Archer on his own, quite happy, circulating in 8th position. Looks like he's got good fuel though. So have we seen a bit of fuel saving from Loz? Time will tell. We'll keep our eye on the energy status. Sam Wooldridge getting close here then, within half a second, only 0.2 of a second. So Franco's got it all wrong on the exit of the tight left-hander. Sam runs him all the way to the inside, forces him to defend. Can he do anything around the outside? He's gonna have a go. Tries to go around the outside of Lexus. They're both identical cars. Has he got better tyre life? He's going round the outside into 3rd position on Franco. So that's an excellent move from Sam Wooldridge in the yellow and black Lexus. Sensational stuff. A star for Sam there. Caught Franco out. Franco getting a really poor move out of the hairpin, and Sam Wooldridge pouncing on that to take the 3rd position, the final podium position. Can he keep it all neat? The roles reverse now, so now the pressure all on Sam Wooldridge, and Franco won't be happy about losing that position. Out of the podium positions, he'll be looking to make his way back through on Sam. This battle close again between Andy Moore and Callum, and I think there's actually a change of position there. So let's have a look at this. This is Andy down the inside into turn 1. This is the replay then. So he manages to get that done. Looks like there'd been a bit of battling beforehand as well. So Andy Moore up into 11th position, Callum back down to 12th. Quick look at our leader. You can see in the background Albert Seragili 4.5 seconds behind, so that gap has actually, sorry, no, that's 4.5 seconds back to 3rd position, but the gap from 1st to 2nd is 7.5 seconds. So plain sailing so far for Kyle Wright. Albert Seragili having a solid run in 2nd position. We know he qualified 4th position, made up 2 positions early on, and has been solid ever since. Aaron Sterrett moving in on Troy Fry, so he was quicker by 2.5 tenths on the last lap around. So this gap growing and shrinking all the time. Franco Sestari isn't letting Sam Wooldridge disappear though. Let's try and zoom in on that battle. He's going to keep Sam under pressure for the next 25 minutes. Looked like Sam had the upper hand when it came to tyre life. We saw Sam make the spin earlier on. Cost him a lot of time, but he's had a good recovery to get back into 3rd position. That looks like an attempt on to move Aaron and Troy. Let's have a quick look. Oh, and as I switch away, we're going to have another look at that, because it looks like they were continuing to battle. I jumped the gun slightly, so he goes round the outside. Doesn't work. And we're probably going to miss the rest of the battle, so they were side by side through here. Still side by side. Troy still leads, so there's been no position change. Good little battle here between Aaron and Troy. I'm not going to switch to a replay just yet, because this is really close. It's also close between Mike Suttie and Harrison Fulton. Mike Suttie catching up the back of Harrison. Hard to look away from this battle on the screen though, and that's Aaron going to the inside. Troy gives him a lot of room there. Very fair by Troy, and Aaron gets that position. So 6th position for Aaron Sterrett in the Mercedes. Good move there, good clean racing, and a few laps of side-by-side action. We'll have a quick look at the previous overtake. With actual possible contact, it's saying on my screen, but no, we don't have the other battling. So back to live viewing. This is Troy trying to get back past Aaron, so Aaron doesn't defend. Troy goes to the inside, thinks about braking late. The Mercedes is going to brake deep here. He's gone deep. Has that allowed the Ferrari to pull a little switch back on the exit here? It has. He's got much better speed on the exit, and he takes that 6th position back off Aaron Sterrett. But Aaron Sterrett's got good straight line speed. Look at that Mercedes go. Is he close enough into the braking zone? He's not. Troy closes the door, but this battle is going to rage on for the next 22 minutes, because we know Aaron has got good pace over Troy, and Troy has got his work cut out if he's going to hold off Aaron, for the next 22 minutes. It's been a change of position between Callum and Mike Suttie, so this again side by side through the fast sector here. So this is Mike Suttie making his way back through the pack. We saw Callum was battling with Andy Moore up ahead, but Callum has dropped into the clutches of Mike Suttie, who's had a few dramas tonight, but he's getting back on it. Got those tyres under control. I've just noticed the fastest sector 1 from Tom Lyons, just randomly popping it in there 40 minutes into the race. So Tom Lyons finding some excellent pace at the latter stages of this race. Aaron Sterrett all over the back of Troy Fry again. I'm pretty sure he's going to be in the slipstream, being that close to the back of that Ferrari, but he doesn't need a slipstream because that Mercedes seems very, very strong down the straight into the final corner. Troy turns in, pinches him on the apex, and neither of them get a great exit, so it's going to be another drag race down to turn 1 then. The Ferrari versus Mercedes. The Mercedes on the inside should have the advantage, but we know this first sector, it's a bit of a switchback, so all is not lost if you're on the outside into turn 1. So Troy trying to hang it round the outside. He'll brake earlier and try and cut back, and he'll try and get a good exit here. Will the Mercedes get a good run? He's got a good run, but is it enough to stop that Ferrari? I think it might be. Troy looks to the inside, but he's just not close enough, so it looks like Aaron Sterrett has secured that position, but he's braked deep again into that tricky right-hander. He'll go wide over the curb, and this fast sector take all the curbs, and there is an opportunity into the right-hander after these fast slalom sequence of corners, but he's just not close enough to send it down the inside there. Andy Moore very, very close to the back of Harrison Fulton, so Andy Moore recovering again, coming through to try and take that position from Harrison Fulton. See the energies, so Carl Wright and Tom Lyons with the least amount of fuel so far, so they will be the earliest stoppers. Some good mid-pack battles here. It still carries on between Troy and Aaron Sterrett. So is that Andy Moore going past? It was. I think that happened on the screen. So let's have a quick look at that one. So this is Andy Moore on Harrison Fulton. Harrison goes wide, and that loses him the position to Andy Moore. So that's unfortunate for Harrison. Gifted that 9th position to Andy, and Andy keeps that 9th position so far. Callum has gone back down. It looks like Callum's had an issue because he's dropped way down now, so he's behind Barry Mnemonic. What's happened here? Have I missed Albert Serigili? Where is Albert Serigili? And what's Callum's had enough? He's just sent it off there. Albert Serigili. So this was the lap ago, and he's spun the Aston from 2nd place. He's now down into 5th position. You can see Sam Wooldridge and Franco Sestari and Tom Lyons going past. So that's a disaster for Albert Serigili. I wondered where he was on the timing screens, but he's down in 5th now after that spin. Just shows how easy it is to lose these cars, and he has another moment on the exit there. So Callum, I'm not sure what happened there. Did he just get a snatch on the curb? No, that looks like he's had some kind of failure there, either mentally or physically. I'm not sure. He carries on going. Craig Fulton in the pits, Callum's in the pits, so they've both retired. So a lot of drama with only 18 minutes to go. So we've lost Callum, Craig and Igor Jurovic as well. I didn't see what happened to Igor, so apologies to Igor. I didn't see what happened to you, but luckily we have these replays so we get some answers. So that's promoted Sam Wooldridge into 2nd position after that mistake from Albert Serigili. Can Albert Serigili come back at these 3? So that looks like it's Callum in the chat that his games froze. The car just went absolutely straight into the wall. Callum having an action-packed race until that moment. But that does mean his first race with us is a DNF. And that is a massive shame for him. The gap at the front, 13 seconds, nearly 14 seconds for Kyle. So he has got this one in the bag, as long as he can keep it on the black stuff and not make any of those mistakes like we've just seen from Albert Serigili. There's been a change of position. Rob Thompson and Barry Mnemonic going past Harrison Fulton. So as Harrison Fulton had an issue. So, Harrison Fulton pits then. So Harrison Fulton in the pits. So that's why. That is why he's lost position. So he's making his stop for fuel. Let's get the energy graphic up. So all of the cars getting down to like 10%. So only a couple more laps to go. So we'll keep our eye on those energy figures. They will tick over on the menu. So keep your eye on that. Franco Sestari coming back at Sam Wooldridge. These podium positions shaping up to be a good little battle towards the end of this race. Tom Lyons, after having a very quiet race so far, can find himself right in the action here. When the guys enter the pit box, it will come up on your screen on the left hand side by their name. So when they enter the pit, it will appear on there. So rest assured you won't miss anything. Franco Sestari finding some good pace after losing that position to Sam, which was 3rd position at the time, now for 2nd. Looks like that might have given him a bit of a kick, and he's managed to cool those tyres down a little bit and stay with Sam Wooldridge to try and challenge for P2. This battle is not over between Aaron Sterrett and Troy Fry. These two have been at it for quite a few laps now. Aaron seemed to get past Troy quite easily, although it did take him a long time to catch. But Troy, since being passed, a little bit like Franco Sestari, seems to have found the pace and is able to chase much easier than leading. So he's still on the back of Aaron Sterrett. Franco Sestari getting very, very close to the back of Sam Wooldridge then. 13.5 minutes to go as they go down this long back straight, which isn't really a back straight, but we'll call it that for the lack of a better term. Really got Sam under pressure here on the brakes. Sam carrying much more speed into the corner there, but is that going to compromise him on the exit? Doesn't seem too bad. He's had a good run. So I think just Sam better on the brakes then into that final turn. 4% energy for Kyle. So Kyle will be coming in on the next lap round, I'd imagine. Let's stick the graphic for the energy up for now. Just while they make these stops. This is a close battle and they will both need to pit as well. So we've got Sestari on 6%, Wooldridge on 7%. So can Sam do an extra lap? We'll see how the guys have managed to manage their fuel. How precisely. Ideally you want to be entering the box with no fuel at all. But that does carry the risk of not making it to the pit stop. So I'd imagine they will do this lap or pit at the end of this lap, but we shall see. Battle still close between Troy Fry and Aaron Sterrett. But again, we'll stick with this one because this is the closest battle. I'm keeping an eye on the deltas on my side. Let's have a quick look at Kyle. So he's coming round. Just realised we don't have the track map on. Haven't had that on there for quite some time, apologies. Better late than never, eh? 50 minutes in. So Kyle comes round, he's got 1% of fuel, so is he fuel saving? The gap's still 16 seconds. So he has called that absolutely perfect. Look, 1% energy remaining, and we're going to see all of the guys coming in, I'd imagine. Where's Sam Wooldridge? He's rounding the final turn now. Does he come in as well? He does, so they're all... Oh no, he thinks he's got an extra lap. So Sam Wooldridge takes another lap. So that will give him some fuel advantage at this point, so he'll be on lighter fuel. So we'll see them all in the pits. You can see it on the left-hand side. So Sam Wooldridge and Albert Sergili continue for another lap. Only 10 minutes to go. Then we've got Kyle Wright, Franco Sestari, Tom Lyons, Aaron Sterrett, Troy Fry, Loz Archer, all in the pits. Looks like there was a little bit of shenanigans going on there. Looks like Aaron missed his pit box a little bit, so we're going to have to see how this all shakes up. Looks like there's been an incident out on track, so Rob Thompson losing the rear of that Mustang once again. He will not be happy about that. So Sam continues round then as all of these guys, everyone's pitting. It's a shame we can't have a better view. This is side by side between Mike Sutty and Andy Moore. A little bit of contact on the exit of the pit lane there. And that's Mike Sutty in front of Andy Moore, but I think Andy Moore has gained a bit of an advantage there. So everyone hasn't, well, nearly everybody has stopped. So let's have a look at Sam Wooldridge as he comes round this, not quite at the end of this lap. So try and figure out what's going on. Andy Moore and then Mike Sutty. So this is a very close battle on track. Troy Fry and Aaron Sterrett, after their stop, have come out nose to tail. So After that stop, no difference for these two. So this battle continues on with pretty much the same gap as they had before going into the pits. Sam Wooldridge down to 1% fuel, so he does go into the pits along with Albert Seragili. So, Albert Seragili's gone on to do another lap. So significant fuel saving from Albert Seragili in the Aston Martin. We've got Loz Archer coming round, so I'd imagine he will pit this time around. He does. And then Barry Mnemonic to pit, and Mike Sutty. So for some reason, oh no, sorry, it's 20% for Mike Sutty. It's on red, but he has got 20%. So bit of a change of position there. That was trying to, oh, that's just as they're in the pit lane. Mike Sutty, what's happened here? He's had another issue. So we were looking at Mike, but that Mustang true to form there. Loz Archer coming out the pits. Albert Seragili down at 2%, so that extra lap of fuel, hopefully he will make that. Just takes a while for everything to shake itself out. There's 7 minutes to go, but you can see Kyle Wright is still well in the lead with a gap of 15.7 to, sorry, that's to the leader. So Sam Wooldridge not sure how I get the gap to Sam Wooldridge. Well, the gap is 17 seconds. You'll have to believe me on that one. And a big shout out to Paul in the chat. He's responsible for these overlays. Just posted that there has been an update to this the live timing screen, which I can barely see because my vision is not the best, but big thumbs up to him for these overlays because they have been absolutely brilliant tonight. They've saved my bacon a few times now. So this is Albert Seragili in the pits then. He's the last guy to stop other than Barry Mnemonic, who tried to do extra fuel saving last week, but it didn't quite work out. It's not going to work out this week either, so he will have to stop with 6 minutes and 30 seconds to go. And I've got my answer for why the 1v1 wouldn't show the gap between Kyle and Sam, because it only shows the closest gap, which does make sense. That is, speaking of which, so Albert Seragili does pit then. No. Have we seen an incident here? Sorry, that was just him exiting the pits, but I think there might have been a bit of action here. So that is Sam and Franco. So Albert Seragili with that extra lap comes out and he's battling with Tom Lyon. So this is live then. So this is the battle for second, third, fourth and fifth position. Kyle Wright out in the front. No challenge going to be taken to Kyle. He's got this one in the bag. You see him in the background on another part of the circuit entirely. But this battle between Sam, Franco and Albert and Tom Lyons coming up the rear, a really good one. And with only 5 minutes to go, this is anybody's podium positions. Battle between Troy Fry and Aaron Sterrett still rages on. Aaron still maintaining that sixth position, and Troy trying his absolute hardest to get on terms with him. But Aaron driving a decent race so far. Sam will really be happy with this if he can hold this second position. He did have that incident early on. He got abused from his fan club in the chat, but he certainly turned things around. No more mistakes from Sam. Currently sits second, and if he can hold on to this in front of these three charging guys, he'll be very happy. So we've got Lexus, Aston Martin and Porsche. Tom Lyons has had good pace. We saw him down in the 2-minute lap times, and Albert Seragili slightly wide there, so that's going to allow Tom to get a better run out of here. Good exit, but he's drifting out of turn 2. That's not going to do his traction or his run out of the corner any good whatsoever. Just got a little bit excited on the loud paddle, and Albert manages to maintain that 4th position, but he looks like he's struggling to get that Aston Martin to the apex of the corners. Yellow flag. That was Rob Thompson. A brief yellow flag moment for him. Three and a half minutes to go. You are looking at the battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th position. No more stops to make. This is a battle to the end. How much do you risk it? How much do you want those points? How much tyres do you have left? Tom Lyons looking really good at the back of this pack. Definitely the place to be. Least amount of pressure on Tom Lyons, and he can hope that one of these 3 other guys get together, have a little issue, and he can capitalise on that. But only 2 minutes 50 seconds to go, so time is quickly running out, and none of these guys appear to be making any mistakes so far. So fantastic driving for the top 5 cars. As we look at Kyle, as he continues to put in some quick laps. Last lap a 2:01.6. Fastest lap he did, it was a 2-minute 0.6, which is only 0.4 off the top pole position for qualifying. So a really good race for him. As we watch the rest of them come across the line, a 2:01.4 for Sam, a 2:01.5 for Albert, and a 2:01.9 for Tom Lyons. So Tom Lyons not quite with the pace of these other 3. He's dropped back a little bit, not far. Oh, and Albert Seragili's made a mistake, and that's allowed Tom Lyons through in turn 1 then. So let's have a look at that. So down into turn 1, let's have a look at Albert Seragili. Does he lose the rear? Yes, he does. He has to get on the brake pedal to stop the rotation there, and that's allowed Tom Lyons through into 4th position. So as I was saying, Tom will be praying for something to happen, and it's fallen into his lap. He will have to defend from Albert though. If Albert's pushing to the end, he will have cooked those rear tyres a little bit though, so the rear tyres on that Aston Martin will be crying for help. Some of the cars just missing the apexes more and more now as the front tyres begin to give up. Only 1 minute to go, so depending on where Kyle is on the circuit will depend. Oh, and there's a yellow flag. Loz Archer, she's looped it with only a minute to go. What happened there? Again, looping it on the exit. We've seen so many of those mistakes. So difficult once the car starts to rotate. The momentum's with it. The rear tyres spike in temperature, and around it goes. So into the final turn then. There'll be 1 lap after this because Kyle has just gone through turn 1, I think. Yeah, he's in turn 1, 2 and 3. So he looks like he's going to take the victory here, but we'll concentrate on this battle between Sam Wooldridge in 3rd position, Franco Sestari. Sorry, 2nd position, Franco Sestari in 3rd, and then Tom Lyons a little bit further back in 4th position. You can just see those 2 cars in the background carrying on that battle. Albert Seragili will be keen to get that back, and Tom Lyons has had to go defensive. He's obviously got a bad run out of that turn 3. Albert Seragili down the outside. Wing just hangs it around the outside, hopes he can carry enough speed, but Tom's got good traction on the inside. They're going to be side by side through this fast sector. Take as much curb as you can. How many track limits have you got? This is good racing, side by side. Little door bang in there, but Tom's on the inside on the brakes. He'll try and get it stopped. Albert tries to go round the outside again. Tries to carry more speed, but doesn't get good traction. Tom holds 4th position. And there's a yellow flag out on track. nothing major. Albert is going to be desperate to throw one down the inside there. Let's have a quick look at the battle. So it looks like Sam has secured that second place. Kyle out in front. Looks like he will take victory. But this battle between Tom Lyons and Albert Serigili is going to go all the way to the line. I'm going to try and keep my eye. It's side by side again through some fast sectors. I'm quickly going to switch to Kyle because he's coming around the line, so he will take victory in the Ferrari. So he takes victory, and then Sam Wooldridge in second position looks pretty good. Tom Lyons is having to defend into the final corner. Albert Serigili on the outside. It's going to be side by side. He tries again, hang it around the outside. The car's just pushing though. He can't get that Aston turned. He won't get in the slipstream. It will be fourth position for Tom Lyons and fifth for Albert Serigili. Franco Sestari does take third position. And then this battle, fourth position. Tom takes the victory in that fight over Albert Serigili. Aaron Sterrett maintains that lead over Troy Fry, and it looks like Troy Fry has had an incident. Troy's much further back now. So a frantic finish for the top five. Great racing once again. Troy Fry finishes in seventh position. Loz Archer, after that late spin, crosses the line in eighth position. Then Andy Moore ahead of Barry Mnemonic and Andy Bonar. Andy Bonar a little bit further back in front of Harrison Fulton in the Mercedes. And then Rob Thompson, he's had a bit of a nightmare tonight. He's had quite a few spins along with Mike Sutty. I can't help but feel that that's mainly due to the car choice. Those Mustangs have been an absolute pig tonight. And then Mike Sutty rounding out the field ahead of the four DNFs, which were Callum, Igor, Craig and Tony Matthews. So this is Rob Thompson crossing the line then to take 13th position, and then just Mike Sutty, who has still not had enough of spinning that Mustang. Those tyres probably crying enough. Certainly overheating, and he will be the final finisher in 14th position. Great racing once again tonight. Some really close racing, certainly second, third, fourth and fifth. Kyle Wright being in a bit of a class of his own, and a few mistakes costing the front three big time. Thank you very much for joining us. Hopefully you enjoyed the overlays tonight. It will take a little bit of time getting used to them, but as Paul has said in the chat, always updating these, so we really do look forward to seeing the improvements he can make to this. But yeah, excellent start, and hopefully we'll be here next weekend. Can't promise anything because I think I have to go away with work, but things can get cancelled. So hopefully here next week. Sounds like somebody's doing some donuts somewhere, but thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Cheers, bye bye.